What's up YouTube, it's your boy Tits here, and today we're going to take a look at the Torid. A lot of you guys have been requesting this video from me. I'm glad I'm finally able to get it out to you. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold right now, so I'm a little bit stuffed up. Try to get through this though. The weapon has been out for a little while though, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm just going to show you a few minutes gameplay here on Zinni with some Infested, and then jump right into the build video. The build section of the video. Most of you already know about this weapon, how it works. You shoot slugs, you make poison gas clouds, and it's armor ignoring damage, which is the best type of damage. And all I really want to do is just show you how high the stackable damage is with this weapon and give you a few key pointers with it. So the DOT with this damage is stackable. Your mods and everything, it's all stackable. Best thing to do with this weapon is to get the enemy stuck in the gas cloud and just stack the clouds one on top of each other for max damage. Now the DOT component sticks to enemies and allies, so be careful, because if you shoot an enemy and they run at you, they can spread the poison to you. Also, all your elemental mods you put on this weapon, they become armor ignore also, which is really nice. The two best things I can recommend when using this weapon is A, having a Warframe that has great crowd control, that can use its powers like Vauban to get the enemies to be pretty much stuck in the gas cloud. Or if you're not using a Warframe like that, then B, have a weapon that you can put mods on that will get the enemies to slow down or permanently pretty much just be stuck in the gas clouds. This weapon does not work well at all if you can't get the enemies to stay in the gas clouds. Yes, if they're lower level, they'll die instantly from just running through the gas cloud, but this weapon really shines on high level enemies, and that's the last thing I want to talk about before I show you how to build this weapon. People have mentioned the Ogress to me and how I compare it. I love the Ogress, and what I want to say is I'd rather use the Ogress up until it can't one-shot anymore, because the Ogress does better AoE, and if I can one-shot and kill a mass amount of enemies all at once, why wouldn't I want to do that instead of waiting around for the Torid? But now past like level 80, 90, whatever level it is, where the Ogress starts to not one-shot anymore, that's when I'd rather use the Torid. Especially on high wave defense. I've taken this up into the wave 50-60 range, level like 200 enemies, got them all sucked up into a vortex, doesn't matter what faction, put a good 3, 4, 5 slugs of the toxic gas cloud in there, and they died within seconds, way quicker than shooting 3, 4, 5 times with the Ogress. This weapon really shines on high wave defense, because it just does a huge amount of stackable armor ignoring damage that just ticks over and over again. So you pretty much can see that in the gameplay I have here. So let's go ahead and talk about how to mod this weapon. Alright guys, let's go ahead and check out the recommended builds I like to use on this weapon for all three factions, and also a few different mods that work well in this weapon. Depending on your playstyle, you'll know if you want to use them or not. For Grineer, I like to go with a full Stormbringer, a full piercing hit, a full cryo rounds, and a full serration and split chamber. On Corpus, I like to go with the same build, but switch out piercing hit with Beta Corpus. Now, for this weapon, it's a little tougher to decide whether you want to leave in a elemental mod or swap it out with a Bane mod, because your Bane mod is going to add 30% damage to your base damage, and then that's also going to add damage to your other elemental mods. And if it was a regular weapon, I would be able to easily tell if I wanted to use the Bane mod or not, because depending on the body part you're shooting, you're going to get a certain damage bonus, so it's easy to do the math. When using a Bane mod and taking out another elemental mod, you always want to do the math to see how much damage you're going to get from putting the Bane mod in, and how much damage you're going to lose if you took an elemental mod out to put it in, and see which does more. And that's why you'll see me use it sometimes, and sometimes I won't, because I'll use the build that will do more damage. But with the Torid, you're not shooting just a specific part of the body. It makes a gas cloud that hits all parts of the body. And all parts of the body on every enemy give different bonuses to the different damage types. So the way I'm going to do this video, the build part here, is I'm just going to say what the recommended mods would be. And for Grineer, it was the Stormbringer, Cryo Rounds, and Piercing Hit. And it's up to you whether you want to take one of those out and put a Bane of Grineer in. Now for Corpus, I would do Electrical and Bane of Corpus and a Cryo Rounds. You could put the Piercing Hit in, yes, but the Piercing Hit is only a 60% mod, and it really only gives the biggest damage bonus to the crewman when hitting him in the head. And whether or not you would do more damage with it, since it doesn't give great armor piercing bonus throughout the whole body on every body part, it's hard to say because the gas cloud is hitting throughout the whole body. So all I can say is all 4 mods, because I've used them all, they will all work out well. Stormbringer, Bane of Corpus, Cryo Rounds, and Piercing Hit. Same goes for Grineer. Now for Infested, I will for sure use this build here, which is going to be a fully ranked Hellfire in place of the Stormbringer, a fully ranked Wildfire in place of Cryo Rounds, and a fully ranked Bane of Infested in place of Bane of Corpus. This is a great all-around damage build for Infested. And remember, Wildfire gives you 1 extra rocket, and the 60% fire damage stacks with the 90% fire damage. And this build just does really good damage for Infested. I definitely recommend this build. Remember, if you don't have a Warframe you're using with the Torid that has a crowd control ability, you're going to want to slow the enemies down somehow to keep them in the gas clouds. So I'd recommend taking off Bane of Infested and putting in a fully ranked Cryo Rounds, because it'll slow the enemies down and also add elemental damage. It'll slow them down to practically a crawl, keeping them in the gas cloud, and it'll add that elemental damage. You could also use a Hammer Shot mod, which has 40% stun, but when I tested both these out together, the Cryo Rounds seem to slow them down just as much, if not more, and it adds that extra damage, which Hammer Shot doesn't. Now, a few other mods you could use if you didn't mind losing some damage on your build, which I'd rather go with a full damage build. The usability is fine for me, but it might not be for you. So since the reload's 3 seconds, you could use a Fast Hands mod on this weapon. You could put a fully ranked Fast Hands in. You could put a fully ranked Speed Trigger in to speed up the the speed of the slugs of this weapon. And you could also put a fully ranked magazine warp on this weapon, and that will add 2 more rockets. So this would be up to you. The weapon works fine for me as is. I like going with all damage, but it might be different for you. But if you want to keep all your damage mods on and you really like this weapon, I'd suggest forming it a little bit, and then forming enough to get your full reload speed and maybe full speed trigger on, so that you can shoot faster and reload quicker, and then you'll still have all your damage mods on. That would work really well too. Or maybe you want to reload faster and you want 2 extra rockets and the speed's okay. You can form it a few times and put a full magazine warp on and a full Fast Hands, and then keep all your damage mods. That would work really well too. So these are some different options that you have for all 3 factions. I hope this video helped you out, guys. It's a great weapon. You should really check it out. And I'll catch you guys later. Please comment, like, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.